KPBS On Demand is supported by the National Conflict Resolution Center. Geopolitics, a divisive election year, and strained budgets are all topics that can create tension in the workplace. NCRC can help workplace leaders navigate polarizing issues with the Culture, Communication, and Conflict Certificate. More at ncrconline.com.
Have you ever lived just hours away from a famous city but never dared to step inside?
I'm a second-generation Mexican-American. My parents are first-generation.
That's Leslie Gonzalez. She's a web producer here at KPBS, born and raised in Indio, California, just a few hours northeast from San Diego and Tijuana.
My grandparents came to the United States in the 60s following the grapevine. They worked in agriculture. And a lot of the traditions in terms of food, family, and that closeness between those values and principles in, Christianity and, family prioritization have been heavily influenced in our family as a Hispanic family.
Leslie's story is familiar to many Mexican-American families.
But like many second-generation kids, Leslie also grew up navigating two cultures at once.
English was the language of opportunity at home, a way for her parents to ensure she had access to education and a future they had struggled to find as first-generation immigrants.
Because I'm second generation, my primary language is English. My parents were very much forward in speak English, assimilate to the United States culture, but it's out of love and wanting them to make sure that I had the best offered to me in terms of education and opportunity, only because from their experience being first generation primary Spanish speakers, then learning English, they had some struggles, adjusting to the American climate, people, economy, etc.
Among those struggles was that Leslie's parents were stigmatized while growing up for being immigrants, for not speaking English properly, for instance. And like many immigrant families who arrived in the U.S., her parents chose to sacrifice parts of their culture in an effort to assimilate into mainstream American life. They wanted to spare Leslie the stigma they felt growing up.
So Leslie didn't learn about Día de Muertos until high school and early college.
Believe it or not. In fact, the custom and the holiday itself didn't become forefront in my mind or anything until I was in college. I studied Chicano studies, again, because identity played a big part as a young adult. I wanted to know who I was and what I wanted to become based on my background and, the fact that this is where my people come from, this is where my heritage has come from.
So Leslie's family never really celebrated Día de Muertos. They're evangelical Christians who stick to what they know. So Día de Muertos was overlooked, while more traditional Christian celebrations like Christmas and Easter took center stage. But she doesn't see that as a bad thing. It's just a tradition they never went out of their way to embrace, as the pressure to assimilate weighed heavily on them. Now that she's an adult, Leslie is turning that page. She feels a strong connection to her Mexican heritage, and with Día de Muertos being one of, if not the most important tradition, she wants to explore that heritage for herself. Knowing this, Nat was cooking up a proposition, a very Mexican proposition, one in the spirit of the show.
You have been to Mexico a couple of times, but never to Tijuana, right?
Yes, never intentionally to go and visit Tijuana.
Why?
A lot of it deals with the stigma, I guess, of what that place or the city represents. For my family, there's always the, con cuidado. You don't know the corruption, the human trafficking aspects, the violence. That's all filters in from, word of mouth and also their personal experiences when they were growing up, because both sides of the family had lived close to the border, watching the noticias to wait one too many times about what's happening across the border. So a lot of it deals with mostly negative view. I'm pretty sure.
And that's why Leslie never crossed into Tijuana. To her family, the border city meant danger, corruption, and headlines filled with crime.
Tijuana was a place to avoid, not explore.
And while her parents' fears are understandable, at port of entry, we always aim to break those border stereotypes by highlighting the positive stories and experiences that exist in Tijuana beyond the distorted news headlines.
So I made a suggestion. Leslie and our team at KPBS organized the annual Día de Muertos digital altar,
where people upload photos of loved ones who've passed away to honor and remember them.
This year, we wanted more social media content, and I thought it would be interesting to visit Tijuana's famous Mercado Hidalgo, home to an incredibly colorful altar full of history and tradition. Okay, picture it like this. Have you ever seen the movie Coco?
I'm not sure if using a movie made by Pixar is the best way to explain a Mexican tradition, but actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, it actually is probably the easiest way to do it.
Exactly, because Coco is a reference that everyone gets instantly. If Coco were real life, Mercado Hidalgo would be the set. It's super alive and full of spirit. On Día de Muertos, Mercado Hidalgo is an explosion of colors and sweet, salty, and spicy aromas filling the air. Marigolds are everywhere. Sugar skulls line nearly every stall, and you can find everything you need to build your own altar.
So yeah, Nat thought it was the perfect chance for the digital team to experience Mercado Hidalgo's altar firsthand, and to show Leslie a city she'd never visited.
I'm super stoked, to be completely honest. My grandma would always say that I had like patas largas, or like big feet. She'd say, why are you going all these places? You're like jumping everywhere. And I like taking those risks, like, not kill yourself risk, but like a positive, you're getting out of your comfort zone, exploring new things and places, and the fact that I get to go with people who know the city and who have a love for that city just makes me more excited than cautious, and obviously with caution.
Leslie was both nervous and excited, the perfect mix. Now she was about to dive into a maze of colors, flowers, and of course, food. Lots of food. The Port of Entry family. We love food.
We sure do.
I want to eat a lot of food.
Oh, you're gonna eat a lot. You're gonna eat a lot. I'm gonna make sure you eat a lot of different stuff, candies, dessert, soups, meats. I'll make sure of it.
Oh, no, if my vice was a sin, it'd be gluttony. Honestly, I will eat and explore and just all the food.
I believe borders help us shape how we see the world. Growing up in Tijuana and crossing the border to go to work for more than 10 years has completely shaped who I am.
Leslie will be crossing south of the San Diego-Tijuana border for the first time, but she'll also be crossing the border between perception and experience.
So come with us as we follow Leslie on her first trip to Tijuana, explore the iconic Mercado Hidalgo, and celebrate Día de Muertos in true borderland style.
Vámonos. From KPBS, this is Port of Entry,
where we tell cross-border stories that connect us.
I'm Adrian Lilienthal.
And I'm Natalie González.
Here in Southern California, we know all too well the devastation wildfires can cause. That's why our mission is to stop the next one before it starts. I'm Brian D'Agostino, leader of SDG&E's Wildfire and Climate Science team, and we've built one of the most advanced wildfire prevention programs in the country, with a team of world-class meteorologists using artificial intelligence and real-time weather data, all to help keep our communities safe. We're also building a stronger grid and using public safety power shutoff when necessary, because believe me, I've seen firsthand how unpredictable wildfires can be. But here at SDG&E, we face that uncertainty head on to help keep you safe. Learn more at sdge.com/wildfire safety.
A week after the conversation with Leslie, I went to Mercado Hidalgo to talk to Elba Olmedo, the woman who organizes the famous altar every year. I wanted to set a date to visit the altar with my digital team and get a behind-the-scenes look at how it's put together.
But before jumping to our conversation with Elba, some historic context. Since 1955, Mercado Hidalgo has been the beating heart of Tijuana, bursting with fresh produce, spices, crafts, candies, and flavors that capture the soul of Mexico. Crowds weave through its aisles in search of everything from party piñatas to rare spices and exotic fruits.
But on Día de Muertos, Mercado Hidalgo completely transforms. If you've never been there, the market is a vibrant maze of colors, aromas, and flavors. And that's what Dia de Muertos is really about.
It's a tradition that goes back thousands of years, rooted in indigenous beliefs about life, death, and memory.
Later, Spanish Catholic influences blended in, adding altars, crosses, and prayers.
Today, it's one of Mexico's most important cultural celebrations, recognized by UNESCO as part of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity.
Families build altars in their homes or communities, decorating them with photos, food, drinks, flowers, and mementos of their loved ones.
The idea isn't to mourn, but to welcome back the spirits for a brief visit, to share stories, music, and, of course, food.
I arrived at the market right at its busiest hour. I parked near the large kiosk where the altar is built every year, next to El Hidalgo coffee shop.
Colorful papel picados stretch from the kiosk to the cafe shop.
As I walked closer, I saw Elba wearing an apron covered in bright, cheerful skeletons, surrounded by boxes overflowing with vibrant altar decorations like papel picado, tablecloths, flowers, and ceramic Xoloscuincle dogs.
You know, those super cute, hairless Mexican dogs.
Not that cute.
I love them.
Ok, mi nombre es Elba Olmedo, Relaciones Públicas del Mercado Hidalgo.
Elba runs the Mercado's public relations department. She's part of the third generation helping to build the altar each year. Her grandfather was one of the market's founding partners.
Entonces, esta costumbre se va arraigando de familia en familia. Es una costumbre que traemos de nuestra casa, el mercado.
Elba explained that the altar at Mercado Hidalgo began as a tradition in the homes of the market's founding families.
Porque al final del día, aparte de ser un espectáculo para el cliente que viene a visitarnos, la esencia es realmente una ofrenda para todos los socios que se nos adelantaron en el camino.
Over time, it's become a spectacle for visitors during Dia de Muertos, but at its heart, it remains an offering to honor the market's founders who've passed away.
Pero esta es muy peculiar porque llama mucho al turismo.
And while it's not the main goal, the market does see a big boost in business during the days leading up to the celebration, especially on November 2nd.
A que la gente viene. Es un día muy importante también económicamente, de una derrama económica muy significativa, porque todo el mercado vende artículos para el Día de Muertos. Entonces, aquí comienza todo.
We agreed on a date to take Leslie back to see the completed altar. I said goodbye to Elba, but the air at Mercado Hidalgo was still buzzing. The smell of spices and sweet pan de muerto lingered as I grabbed some fruit and vegetables for my kitchen. Then I made an emergency stop at the famous Oaxacan food stall, La Oaxaqueña.
What do you mean an emergency? What happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I was hungry. I needed some mole enchiladas.
That is quite an emergency.
It is.
Sound the alarm. I need some now.
Anyway, that was just the beginning. Soon, I would return with Leslie, visiting Tijuana for the very first time. I was excited. The bustling aisles promised a whirlwind of colors and smells, a true dive into Dia de Muertos.
Leslie drove across the border into Tijuana, where Nat was waiting to meet her.
I honestly felt like a kid on a school field trip, standing on the corner with my backpack, trying not to miss the bus.
Close to the border. I'm super excited. I saw the Mexican flag. Saw the arches. It's almost like holy light rained down onto the city. And you're like, oh, that's what I'm ready for.
Back on the other side, my phone buzzed. Leslie was almost here. I scanned the street.
I see them. I'm crossing the street.
A pair of hands waved from a gray SUV, flapping wildly like they were flying a plane. Our adventure was officially on. When I opened the car door, Leslie was right there, smiling from ear to ear, with that look of a kid who doesn't know exactly where she's going, but can't wait to find out.
Hey! Hello.
How are you, Leslie?
I'm so excited.
Are you nervous?
No.
How was your experience crossing to TJ?
It was actually really fun. I took a lot of pictures. I looked like a tourist. It was fun.
Yay! I'm Yeah.
So excited.
I even took a picture that says, "Welcome to Tijuana."
On the way to Mercado Hidalgo, Leslie pointed at murals, food stalls, and read every restaurant sign aloud.
Everything I see, smell, it's like enticing. I just want to, it's like that smoke finger that curls at you in the distance, like a cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Come hither.
And then you can see the color of the smell.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like...
And then you see me lift off the ground and I'm just following it, you know?
We made it to Mercado Hidalgo pretty quickly.
Once they were inside, Natalie could see Leslie's eyes light up, like if the colors hit her all at once.
But before diving into the altar and all the festivities, there was one very important stop to make. Coffee. Because priorities, you know.
How are you so far? My grandma would be proud because I ordered my entire coffee in Spanish.
Yes!
We're so proud of you.
And I understood everything that she asked me to. I was really excited. My Spanish hasn't weakened. I'm happy.
Caffeinated and ready, Natalie led Leslie straight to the heart of Mercado Hidalgo and asked her to describe everything she could see, hear, and smell around her.
Oh, there's like a huge, it's like a plaza. So it's like a square rectangular space of door to door or really tight knit markets. So right next door you'll have a fruit stand mixed with a bodega mixed in with a fruteria. It's a wonderful, colorfully painted market with pink and yellow and turquoise. And you have the car park in the center, and you see people coming in with crates of flowers and just food. And it's just this wonderful sensory enjoyment of just being able to see people live their everyday life and just being able to be a part of it. And it just feels like you're just in the motion of everything.
If you've been to Mercado Hidalgo, you know what she means. It's the good kind of chaos, colors, smells of birria, sweet candy, fresh flowers, and produce blending together.
You either jump in and you become a part of it, or you just become a rock that's in everybody's way. But everyone seems to be so comfortable, and it's really, I think it's wonderful.
She turned in every direction, like an excited puppy easily distracted by every new sight and sound and smell. She wandered the aisles, eager to take it all in, as if she were making up for something she was missing.
I see a bee kind of drifting over a small sugar skull. And the sugar skulls are white with these beautiful oil colors of green, yellow, and blue, oranges. And they have icing drizzles all over them that kind of mark the sutures or just the colorful decorations of them. And there's little toy altars that are really miniature altars, and they're ceramic.
Leslie didn't grow up celebrating Día de Muertos, but she was finding something calling her, a connection missing from her family, a lost connection to her Mexican roots.
I am very blessed right now. I feel like everything feels centered, and I'm able to really enjoy the sights and sounds and the smells. I was just remembering a lot of it is familiar to me. The smell of floor cleaner and food and sweet smells in the background really kind of trigger a lot of memories for me, especially with family.
There was something grounding about being there, between the music and the scent of cempasúchil or marigolds. It felt like the kind of peace you only find when you slow down and really look around.
So for me, I feel very grateful and just can't stop smiling. I think this has been, such a treasure to be here and to experience even just a little fragment of Tijuana, this market. I just feel super blessed. It feels great. That's how I feel.
It was as if the traditions her family had overlooked all these years had been patiently waiting for her to embrace them, waiting for Leslie to bridge the gap of that lost connection. Nat recognized this in Leslie and wanted to dial it to 100, so she took her to the main attraction at the Mercado.
We are in front of the altar right now. Can you describe it to me?
It's this hexagonal building, with marigolds, pinks and yellows entwined on the railing, with steps, tiled steps that lead up to the main altar, which is this big, huge blue and white construction of tiers with all these photos. And leading up the steps, you have this beautiful arrangement of blue and white ceramic plates and pitchers, and the animals that are also ceramic as well. And surrounding this open-aired hexagonal structure is surrounded by like the Catrines or the Catrinas, and they have little photo areas where people can enjoy.
She described every little detail in the kiosk where the altar stood. Her eyes were locked on the scene unfolding in front of her.
We're going up to the altar to take a look at all these beautiful pictures. I am super excited to see all the community putting together their family's portraits. And I think this is the first time I've ever seen like an altar at this scale here at the plaza. There's like this beautiful marigold bridge with the animal here in the background. And I love the stars. This is so cool. Oh, this is so pretty.
As she walked to the center of the kiosk, in front of the 7-foot-tall altar that stretched from edge to edge, Leslie took in the magic of the moment.
Oh, this is so great. I always like looking at old portraits of people who are like, it's so intimate. Like you can see the personalities in their faces and just knowing that the lives that they lived.
That's really what Dia de Muertos is about. Remembering those faces and those lives, the people who made us who we are. And in that moment, Leslie was completely tuned into that.
The chandelier, it has to be my favorite part with the butterflies and the stars. I feel like it really gives that surreal feel between the present, the past, and the in-between.
After spending some time at the altar, my stomach started making loud noises. So we did what any self-respecting group of journalists would do after a long morning of recording. We went to eat. We stopped at the birrería El Rincón del Oso inside the Mercado, a restaurant that's been operating there for more than 40 years. The smell of fresh baked tortillas, cilantro, onions, beef birria, chiles, and spices was a delicious break from the scent of marigolds that overtook the rest of the Mercado.
Oh, that sounds so good. How was it? Can we hear some of the natural recordings and the reactions to the food?
No, I thought I recorded the whole thing, but yeah, I didn't hit the record button. So you will just have to imagine it with me.
Or we can go back. Pero bueno, ¿qué ordenaron? What'd you guys order?
Well, Leslie ordered eggs with machaca, and I had my classic huevito con chorizo. I always order that. For a moment, it didn't feel like work. We were just friends, laughing, passing the salsa, talking over each other, savoring a meal that filled more than our stomachs.
Sounds lovely. I wish I was there with you. Before saying goodbye to Mercado Hidalgo, Natalie wanted to ask Leslie one more time how she was feeling.
Honestly, this has been a fun day. This has been a very enriching moment for me, being able to see these colors, the people, the food.
You could see it in her smile and the way she soaked everything in, finally connecting with something that had always been waiting for her on the other side of the border.
What's your favorite part? I think the food. I had the machaca con huevo with fresh homemade corn tortillas, and I slathered that with butter and with salt, and I think that was the best thing I've had. And then biting into that, what would you call that candy that you had?
Jamoncillo.
Jamoncillo.
As Leslie talked about her breakfast, it was clear these weren't just new flavors.
They were a delicious reminder of where she came from.
What do you think of Tijuana so far? Because you've only seen like a very small part of the city.
Honestly, I really like the ambiance, the feel of it. I think that there's so much more to see, and I want to be able to see more. I'm really interested in wanting to see the other avenues in Tijuana that is offer, not just like the markets, but also theater and art and even the literature here. I heard that the bookstores here are fantastic, so I want to try that out too. So maybe in the future.
As we stepped back into the busy streets, the car smelled of cempasúchil, incense, and copal.
Or what the north of the border folks call smudging sage.
I feel really hopeful now that I'm here, because now I can say it's not what they think it is. It's not this horrible visual in their head of what the news gives them every day, of whether it's human trafficking cartels. So I feel hopeful knowing that my family could feel more open to this side, because I just see people here. I just see people who are just like us, and like not just like us, but who are like my family. Their food, the smells, the language, the laughter, It makes me feel both a little sad that I wasn't able to enjoy this part of myself, but at the same time, I felt glad that as an adult, I could see it for myself.
As they were getting signaled to get into the van, Leslie blew everyone away with a heartfelt reflection that perfectly encapsulated her whole experience.
I felt like a child. That's the closest I felt to everything. The candy, the coffee, the piñatas. I feel very giddy because it's a glimmer of a part of me that really wanted to dive deep. And I don't remember where it all stopped. I just know that right now it's like coming home, like going back to a place that was there in the beginning but it's not there anymore. Like the house moved. So I feel both a little sad, but I also feel like I've come back to something that has always been here.
Here in Southern California, we know all too well the devastation wildfires can cause. That's why our mission is to stop the next one before it starts. I'm Brian D'Agostino, leader of SDG&E's Wildfire and Climate Science team, and we've built one of the most advanced wildfire prevention programs in the country with a team of world-class meteorologists using artificial intelligence and real-time weather data, all to help keep our communities safe. We're also building a stronger grid and using public safety power shutoff when necessary because, believe me, I've seen firsthand how unpredictable wildfires can be. But here at SDG&E, we face that uncertainty head-on to help keep you safe. Learn more at sdge.com/wildfire safety.
Crossing into Tijuana wasn't just physical for Leslie.
It was emotional. She crossed that invisible line between her family's fears and the vibrant reality on the other side.
Full of color, life, and the sounds and smells of the city.
And ultimately, that's what Día de Muertos is really about.
Realizing the people we miss aren't gone. They're right here with us. In every flavor, every song, every smell, every memory that refuses to fade.
This episode of Port of Entry was written and produced by Natalie Gonzalez.
Adrian Villalobos is technical producer and sound designer.
This episode was edited by Chrissy Nguyen and Julio Ortiz Franco.
Lisa Jane Morissette is director of audio programming and operations.
Soy Adrian Lilienthal.
Y yo soy Natalie Gonzalez.
Nos vemos pronto.
Here in Southern California, we know all too well the devastation wildfires can cause. That's why our mission is to stop the next one before it starts. I'm Brian D'Agostino, leader of SDG&E's Wildfire and Climate Science team, and we've built one of the most advanced wildfire prevention programs in the country with a team of world-class meteorologists using artificial intelligence and real-time weather data, all to help keep our communities safe. We're also building a stronger grid and using public safety power shutoff when necessary because, believe me, I've seen firsthand how unpredictable wildfires can be. But here at SDG&E, we face that uncertainty head-on to help keep you safe. Learn more at sdge.com/wildfire safety.